Well, and a lot of people don't, and that's the problem, is they fill up and some of these people are old, they don't wanna drive all the way to Hurricane to get.
Right. Let me talk to
Yeah,
Mary,
I hate
see what we can do.
Anyway, I'd asked me, and I'm like, I don't think that's a planning commission thing, but I'll tell somebody at the town to look into it.
Okay.
Hey. Meetings I wasn't here, I just say I abstained because I can't vote on when I wasn't here, I didn't know nothing about it.
Right, the minutes, yeah.
You have to abstain.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
Wynn's really good at reading the minutes. I got halfway through and then fell asleep.
Like you say, our work isn't exciting.
No, they sometimes drawn out.
Well, it's like a fairy tale because it was so long ago, so.
I know. It was.
Well, it's, yeah, like the last two sets of minutes, it's like
Oh, my God.
deja vu, because we did the
Well,
same,
that's-
we did the same agenda twice.
Yeah.
This is what I emailed them, I told them last week or a couple of weeks ago. Please have the minutes ready.
Yeah, he's
I haven't
gonna,
gotten any since July 8th, haven't signed anything, so that means it's not
we're
legal.
gonna start getting them,
10 days.
hopefully at or around the time the agenda comes out.
And I've noticed their agenda to.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
not really all that now.
Really
Yeah,
high.
getting into a rhythm, so.
Yeah.
I would like to credit with the other staff that's doing this. You're ready, you're live whenever you want to start the meeting.
Okay,
I know it's on
okay.
time, I'm just letting you know that it's
Great.
If that
All
clock.
right, and this one should be, I mean, we should have gone through this pretty quick, huh?
Yes.
Right on.
She was wondering about the clock, so,
Oh, okay, I'm looking up there, that's a little slow, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know what time is it actually.
5:50.
Probably right on 6, huh?
It's right on 6.
All right, well,
Bang your gavel.
welcome to the planning commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order and turn off my phone. And let's rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everybody. Let's take the roll. We have a full house this time, nice.
Lee Brailish here.
Jen Prentice here.
Alan Angel here.
Lynn Jorgensen here.
Richard Fisher here.
For the record, Richard's not at the kid table, we're just social distancing, so that's all.
Didn't do anything wrong, yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Anytime, I'm sure I will.
I have faith
What's that?
I have faith in you.
Good.
This will all be over soon.
All right, so we've got some minutes to approve. Be great if we could do it en masse, like,
Yes,
Consent
consent minutes.
does anybody, before we do that en masse, does anybody have any changes or suggestions to the minutes that they,
I do,
yeah, okay.
on the minutes of July 8th. Down at the bottom of
That
page
was what I-
2,
Okay,
I believe that that's supposed to be, Tommy Hart stated that he was. under the
oh, I saw
impression-
that, yeah, that was like
Yeah.
a typo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that, John?
For the 8th,
Yeah, what number was that again, Lynn?
Down at the bottom of page 2. Paragraph 3.
Yeah, it was just, it almost sounded like Google Translate was writing the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry, you have to, one more time for me.
So it's on our minutes, or on our packet here, it is,
Page 2 on
it's number,
July,
page 4 on our packet.
okay.
Oh, okay. It's paragraph 3.
I think it's supposed to say
Paragraph.
he was under the impression, it says waste. It's just a
This typo.
probably that he was.
Well, with that
Okay.
correction, I'd like to make a motion that,
Wait, I have a question on our January 6th meeting. Shoot, page 2.
Okay, so that's page 23 in the packet for anybody that's.
Yep.
Yes, page 23. The last sentence in the top paragraph where Shameen, however you say her last name, is speaking. Is that supposed to say are only followed when it benefits the developer and the town? Or should it be when it benefits the developer and not the town?
Not the town.
So we need to add that word not.
Yes.
Okay, that was the only other thing that I saw was consequence.
Okay. We love it when people are detail oriented like that. Thank you, Lynn.
We
Sorry.
so good.
No, please, that's awesome. You got that, John? With those changes?
Okay, with those two corrections, I'd like to consent, make a motion of consent approval of the minutes for July 8th, October 7th, November 17th, December 9th, and January 6th, 2021.
Second.
For me, if you guys don't mind, can we do it in two? Can we do the first 4 and then the last one? Because I wasn't here on the first one.
Yeah.
I have to abstain out of the first one.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
do the
we
first.
still have a quorum here.
Right.
So you want to amend that just to make it the first or 4. Janet, is that okay?
Sure. And then Richard can, yeah, for the 1 through 4,
And then
July
when?
8th, October 7th, 17th, and December 9th.
Okay.
Second.
All right, those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, we make a motion to accept the minutes for January 6th, 2021.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Hi.
All right, and thank you.
Thank you.
Staff to get the minutes out. I think we're in a rhythm now. We're going to start having these minutes of this meeting prior to the next meeting, so we actually know what we said ahead of time. That would be a nice, that's one of the real advantages of moving to a monthly meetings instead of bi-weekly, so looking forward to that. Okay, we have our next agenda item is a public hearing for a zone change of parcels AV 1330C from open space to agriculture, 10 acres. Who's here for that? Is any-
Josie.
Hello,
Okay, are you up there?
I am, yeah. I'm virtual today.
That's just a quick rundown of why you're making this request.
This property was purchased before the town became a subdivision, and my understanding was that in the county, it was a residential agricultural type designation on the zoning. And then I've been in and out of the area over the years, and then I just recently discovered that it's a transitional open space. So I'm not quite sure when the change was made, but I would like to change it back because I typically use it for the agricultural designation. And then now it looks like that on the agricultural designation that there is a possibility that I can build a home there, although that's not in my near plans. Whereas the transitional open space does not. And there are other things associated with the agricultural designation that gives me the ability to do more things there.
All right, and what does the general map say for this
It's
area?
open space, transitional. Everything got changed over.
Okay.
And Bob Campbell was named.
All right, so I'd like to open the public hearing. So who here has anything to ask or say about this application? Tish,
Tish Lisenby, 1386 North Mount Zion. I think I'm pretty much Walter's closest neighbor. Hi, Walter. I am an advocate of property rights. I think that Walter owns this property, and if he wants to make it agricultural, he should be able to. If he wants to build a house and a barn on it and some outhouses and outbuildings, whatever he wants to do on it, according to our code, he should be able to do so. And I think that we need to get back to property rights and let people do what they want with their property and not worry about people's views, because if you want to do that, you can buy the property yourself. And people are tying up a whole lot of money in property, and we need to be able to stand up for their property rights and let them do what they want with it. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else? Anybody online? Going once. Okay, I'd like to close the hearing. And we have another one. We have an application to for a zone change of AV 1365-J-1 from open space to rural estate 20 acres. The applicant for that one here?
Right.
Before we open the hearing, you want to give us a quick rundown on what you got in mind?
Sure. Okay, yeah, we bought the piece of property, want to go through and build a house up there on it, and so that's why we want the change.
Okay.
And we're not planning on doing anything with the land except building a house on it.
And real quick, this property around you, do you know what it's zoned?
Low density.
Yeah, I think it is low density.
It's popular well.
It's up there, it's 5 acres. So, and if they're trying to go 20, they're well above the 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're trying to keep it at 20.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're right on the edge.
Perfect.
Nice.
Thanks. All right, I'd like to open the public hearing. Does anybody have any comments to make about this application? Anybody online?
Time's gonna be easy.
I'd like to close this public hearing. We're gonna plow through this fast. All right. You all feel like staying around? We can jump ahead to the next agenda and get this thing taken care of.
we
if you want to go.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and move to, before we open the hearing on the camping resort zone, let's jump down to number 9, if that's okay with you all.
Sure.
And do a quick little discussion here about Walter Josie's application. Anybody have anything pro or
Yes,
con to say? about
Walter's
that?
been here for 30 plus years, and I think he should be able to do with his land what he wants to do. He's always been a good neighbor, kept the land clean, has horses, and I think we should approve it.
You Feel the same way?
I feel like this is.
Okay.
Yeah, so when that was county, he was already in an agriculture zone.
Mhm.
Same with the land where I have. When I bought it, it was agriculture. When Bob got mayor, he went through and switched my stuff to open space. And actually, I was visiting with Sean Guzman a while back about that. And he said that the city of St. George does things like that, but they have to have a really good reason to go switch a bunch of land. And basically, we probably shouldn't have done what happened. He said when they did it in St. George, they did a hillside that was 40 years into, you can build residential small, but
Mhm.
nobody could build on it because of the hill. So they just put it back to open space because you couldn't build on it anyways.
Well, that's
So-
after we took a class from the Utah land use gal, and she said anything that wasn't in development or had developers agreements, we should change to open space.
That's why we.
And that's the only reason we did that.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, I don't have a problem with his, he's got 10 acres, right?
Oh, he's got more than that.
Oh,
And I think
is
he
it-
should
is
be
that
able
what
to
he's-
rent. This is an
This is
addition
for
to-
10, this is for the
This
10
is for
acre
the 10
parcel.
acres.
Yeah.
Lee, what about you? You got anything?
No, I'm fine with it.
Anybody want to make a
I don't see
motion
any-
on this then?
I make a motion that we approve the zone change for application AV-1330-C from open space to agriculture 10 acre, A10.
I second,
Can you just for clarity, that we,
send it to
Send
him.
it.
that
And
we
that we
recommended
send-
the,
Recommend to the town council the zone change.
perfect.
I second.
All right, any further discussion on this? All right, those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Nope, there you go. All right, Walter,
Thank you,
Have at it.
Walter.
Let's move on to the next one.
Can't hear you, Walter.
We don't need to. It's okay.
He's leaning forward.
We have another application for a zone change, AB 1365-J-1 from open space to rural estate 20. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get a similar set of positive comments this time, right?
Yeah, out of Buffalo Wells, we'd like to keep the lots large like this, and I'm all for it.
Okay.
As long as they're okay with living in the midst of ag zones.
Yeah.
Kind of as a neighbor, you know, I don't see any problem with it. We've kind of mixed that area right there. It's a transition between ag and residential.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think the smallest lots out there are 5 already now, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
this is 20.
20 acres.
There
we're
are
not
some
gonna be
smaller than
bothered.
that.
No, we're not gonna be bothered. That's a nice piece.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion on this one?
Yes, I'd like to send to the town council the zone change of parcel AB 1365-J-1 from open space to rural estate 20 acres for approval.
Second.
Okay. Let's give that one to.
No problem.
Gwen jumps in all the time here. That's good. I like that, especially when you're online. It makes you feel like you're participating. Any further discussion on this one? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No. All right. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks,
Get out of
guys.
here 15
Enjoy
minutes.
your
That was,
20
yeah, that was
acres.
quick.
Thank you.
You're welcome to hang out for the camping resort discussion. if you want.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we have a public hearing. This was one that was on the agenda in July and then got tabled. And I think Janet's done some really good work making sure that this thing's reconciled with anything else that it might touch with regard to zones that are similar. So before we open the hearing, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the, just, when I say quick, I mean, as fast as you can.
Yes.
And then maybe make any notes audible about
Yes.
changes to the document that was sent out.
Yeah, there's only one
Okay,
that
perfect.
we're gonna make. The town of Apple Valley presently does not have a zone where RV camping, cabin camping, and tent camping is allowed as either a permitted or conditional use. We can look at Zion Virgin River Resort, RV park and campground in Virgin as an example of what the town council would like to see in Apple Valley. I think that's it. The addition of chapter 1010-130 Camp and Resort Zones, CRZ, into our code would benefit the traveling public and promote the economic well-being of the town through the generation of room and resort tax. A camp and resort zone would allow the town to control to the greatest extent possible the campground's adverse visual, light, and noise impacts to protect the character of Apple Valley. Vegetation, fencing, and topographical would serve as a buffer, a project from impacting important scenic views and established residential areas. Setbacks for any project shall be a minimum of 50 feet, with the setback being a landscape buffer along any property shall be required along with a privacy fence or split rail fence where required near residential properties. The location of the project shall give said project access directly to SR 59 or to an existing or created major arterial street intended for commercial traffic such as Main Street. Total acreage should be no less than 15 acres and the location should be in harmony with the general plan of Apple Valley. A camp and resort zone shall have clean, low-lit roads, recreational amenities with village-scale development and buildings that reflect the rural nature of Apple Valley. This zone will service the thousands of visitors that now just pass through to enjoy the bike and hiking trails that encircle Apple Valley. With 1010-130, we shall be able to cater to this traveling public, provide a tax base, and provide jobs for members of the community. A camping resort zone permits uses are as follows: RV resort, cabin rentals, clubhouse, glamping, glamour camping, parks and playgrounds, retail sales, recreational facilities, guest service tours and rentals, restaurants, tent camping. Campgrounds, proposed cannot be located wholly or in part within a 100-year floodplain and shall comply with all provisions of Apple Valley Land Use Chapter 10.38 to protect the town residents and visitors from the hazards of their health, safety, and general welfare, to protect the properties located both up and downstream from the risk of increased flooding. And we'd like to add one thing to the language of the chapter, and it has about pets. And in there, it does not have cleanup after your pet. It has keep them on leashes, keep them quiet, but nowhere does it state where they need to be cleaned up
And
after.
when you have some specific
She knows
proposed
right where it's at.
language to add, right?
It's on G5. On a leash at all times, comma, and immediately clean up.
Just for John's sake, what page is that in our
That's
document?
what I think.
61.
61.
So we want to add a sentence that says specifically what?
After, or on a leash at all times.
Clean up after your pets.
We could put period there, residents, or what are they called? Campers
Yes.
shall clean up after their pet, shall immediately clean up after their pets.
Okay. Sounds good.
And that's the only thing I
That's the
have.
only thing that's changed since this last draft, right?
Yes, and the acreage went from 10 to 15, which I'm very happy.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Okay. All right, I'd like to open the public hearing. Who has comments about this new ordinance?
Going to come up or
Yeah, if you have, yeah, just say your name, if you would.
Aaron Stout? So since everything was listed such as RVs, cabins, tent camping, things like that, is all of that type of building going to fall under this? And has the town already done away with like the tiny cabin, tiny house zone, the RV zone, other things like that? So is it more of like a mixed use zone or?
Yes, we're like the Virgin River Resort in Virgin. It'd be more like that. I could combine all of that.
Whereas with the other zones, it's, if it's an RV zone, you can only do RV.
That's right.
Or if
This
it's
doesn't-
a-
This doesn't replace it, it's just
Right.
complementary with it, yeah.
I see, okay.
It's about the same use, but it's a more general.
So we still have the other zones as
Still have the
individual.
others,
This is
right.
a combination of everything.
That's right.
Is there any reason why the other ones are 10 acres, but this one is being bumped up to 15?
I think we changed
I
the,
think we changed all
We
those.
changed the-
Oh, the other
We
ones are
changed
15
it
as
all to
well.
15, yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay,
So it has been changed and approved by the town
okay,
council.
I see.
Your grandfather didn't. You
Oh,
don't
I
have to
know.
worry about it. You're there already.
Well, I'm thinking about other property, but
Hmm.
Can you say your
name for the record?
Aaron Stout. Okay.
And your address?
The business address is 1752 Plains Drive.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody online? Tish?
So my question is, you're gonna micromanage the dog poop, but you're not gonna tell everybody what time they have to go to bed?
In there,
Or it's all in there?
It's all in
Well,
there.
it's a quiet time.
I mean, because normally, that's not in ordinances, that's in business plans and agreements that people have with rental customers.
Your husband was in charge.
Well, I can still have my own opinion.
You sure
He's
can.
like, yeah, they have quiet times and, you know, it's,
I'm just a little concerned that we're overreaching
About the dog poop thing.
about dictating how somebody should run their business in a campsite or an RV park.
Well,
because you can go to different places and they have different rules.
Yeah.
And now the town is setting forth the rules that they have to follow. That's all. I'm just,
it's kind of common sense, and you would hope that whoever's running would have signs up anyway.
Yeah,
But,
Right.
So it's more of a CYA probably than anything else. But-
and since these are away from residential areas, I think that the owners could use their own common senses with quiet areas and stuff.
right, and hopefully they will have a dog park and let
Yeah.
them
Well,
run around in
there are
there and
listed parks
things like
and-
that.
I think the reference to the poop was because we had a reference to dogs, basically. And we're like, well, if you're not gonna let them run wild, then
They have to stay on the leash.
we might as well say, and don't forget to clean up. It's not, we're
Okay.
not micromanaging the poop, but we
Okay.
are making sure that kids are stepping in, and if we can help it.
I
Okay,
wish my neighbors would.
thank you.
Yeah.
I actually kind of agree with that. If we're talking about our own park, we ought to be managing that, but it's somebody's business, that's really kind of between them and their patrons, not really the town
Yeah.
issue.
These are just suggestions.
Well, I can't imagine nobody's not gonna do it anyway, so it's
Right.
never gonna be a bonus.
They want to be good neighbors.
I'd love to see a business owner come here and
To
tell us
Birmingham.
how desperately they want to not clean up dog food.
No, I agree. I don't know why we have to put it in there, that's all.
Yeah, I understand.
But this is something that the town council has wanted since July, and I'd like to give it to them.
Been working on it for a while, right?
Yeah.
We've been through this like 3-4 times, so.
Does anybody else have any comments? We got the hearing open still. All right, I'm gonna close this hearing. So we just need to get this moved over to the town council. Anybody have a motion ready?
Before, excuse me, before we make a motion, this is Sean. I do have a comment on the ordinance.
Okay.
Are you, okay, good. I wasn't sure if you're able to hear me. On G, general provisions for campgrounds. If you could find that.
What page is that on?
61.
61.
Yes, 61.
Okay,
Okay, on 4, subsection 4, where it says patron logs shall be made available to code enforcement officers at their request, we need to strike that language.
okay, I can see that.
Why do we need
There
to
were-
strike that?
There was a Supreme Court decision and US Supreme Court decision in 2015 that said that those logs require a search warrant in order to obtain.
Okay,
All right.
Makes sense.
so we'll strike
Kind of a
that.
privacy issue.
Yeah, they can keep the logs and we'd want them to keep the logs. And if there ever was a reason that we needed to see them, then we'd simply go and get a warrant for that and to be scrutinized by a court, a judge that would say, yes, the warrant's valid. And then we would go and serve the warrant and get the logs.
Sure.
That also gives the campground manager the opportunity to object to the warrant before turning those files over.
Okay, thanks for that, Sean.
Thank
You
you.
got
Okay, so with that in mind, and that change made.
There's 2 changes.
So there's 2, right?
Yes.
There's poop and there's privacy. This is gonna be a great recording to go back to. one of these days.
In that order, Alan, or should we?
YouTube is, will love us. All right, so who has a motion to make here?
I make a motion that we send to the town council the text amended creating the camping resort zone, CRZ, for their passage.
Okay,
I'll second.
Lee seconds that. Any further discussion on this? No? Those in favor say aye.
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 And anybody opposed? No. All right.
Your favorite motion.
I want to make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Any discussion? Those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
I think we almost broke a record.
That was a fast one.
That was good. Well, that's what happens when